Hey guys, it's been a while since I've made a video on this channel, about a week. I'm back and channel got a bunch of new subscribers from the last video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was about whether or not it's useful to have a domain-based email. I've been getting better at recording these videos and been able to do it a little bit more efficiently. And what that means is I'll hopefully be able to produce more content for you. So I'm looking forward to that. Today we're going to be talking about migrating your domain to a new URL. So for me, for example, my domain used to be josephdevelops.com, and now that I've rebranded my company to Maui Interactive, my new domain is mauiinteractive.com. So this came with like a ton of changes and difficulties. So I'm going to share with you what I knew and what I know, and I hope that this can help you if you ever have to migrate your domain to not get so much of a hit with your SEO. See, the thing is, migrating a domain, you really lose a lot of your credibility in the eyes of search engines if you switch your domain, because aged domains, older domains, domains that have been around for a while and had a website for a while tend to seem much more credible to Google and other search engine algorithms. Okay, without any further ado, let's get started. So in this video, I have 9 specific things to look out for. This will be a really handy list, so let's get into it. Okay, so for me, I'm a web developer, so I manage dozens of sites. So what I would recommend is if you have any other websites, you want to add links to your new domain on those websites. And if you have old links that link to your previous website, make sure to update those immediately. You can update those even before you actually do the migration. I usually put my link backs in either the footer of the website so that they'll appear on every page, or sometimes I'll put website credits in the contact page. The reason why I tend to put it in the contact page is because maybe somebody doesn't feel that the footer link will match their corporate branding. Also, it benefits the client to have external links on their site, so it actually increases their SEO if they link to a credible site like mine. But be careful when you do this, because you got to make sure that your client is okay with you linking to your own site on their site. They may not be affiliated with your site. I know in my experience, a lot of real estate agents or real estate agent organizations or even law firms had legal constraints or contractual constraints to where they couldn't advertise or promote my business on their website because it was seen as some type of conflict of interest. So just make sure that if you do that, you have permission from your client to do so, because it could be illegal. You probably won't get sued or face litigation, but it just could be a bit awkward. So I would avoid that if all possible. Okay, the second thing you can do to make sure that your domain name isn't really hurting your SEO too bad is create or update your social media and your business listings. Now, I said 2 words there: social media and business listing. Social medias are things like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Business listings are things like Yellow Pages, Yelp, and the Google Business Profiles. Both of these are very handy in getting your site to be a more credible source of SEO. The more links you have from these sites will help benefit you and increase your SERP or your search engine rank placement on your site. It's also just generally a good idea to keep these profiles updated across the board. So you don't want to neglect them, and you want to make sure that they have consistent information. While this is still link backs, I consider it separate from link backs on sites that you've built, because these are not sites that you own. As a side note, while I'm telling you to link back to your website from your social media accounts, also make sure to link to your social media accounts from your website, or link to your social media accounts from other social media accounts. The reason why I recommend this is because it'll actually raise the credibility of your social media page, which will in turn raise the credibility of your website. It all works kind of in a circular motion. The third thing I'm going to recommend is that you post content from your website onto your social media profiles. Now, this is different from just linking to the general homepage of your sites. If you have a blog, if you have specific pages, if you have specific portfolio posts, any type of content on your site, and you want to share it, make sure to share it on Twitter or an Instagram story. I have a list on the companion blog to this post with a lot of different ways in which you can share that content. But sharing the content from within your site, especially if you do it over a steady amount of time, is incredibly beneficial to your SEO. Not just if you're transferring a domain name, but just generally speaking. So make sure to keep creating new content on your website, whether it be a blog or a portfolio post, but also make sure to keep sharing that in as many places as it's relevant. Again, I have a nice tidy list of suggestions that I may even edit after this video on my website. So maybe go ahead and click the blog in the description and check that out. And since we're talking about sharing content on your site, I also want to point out that it's super useful to update your website when you do one of these brand changes and make it a really visible difference. Google will detect when you change your websites. And when you do make those changes, Google sees that as a sign that your site is a good site, it's a safe site. But if you have no interaction with your site and it's never updated and it's never changed, Google might be a bit more suspicious of your site, and search engines in general might be a bit more suspicious of your site. And again, when I'm talking about updating your site, I'm not just saying to update your version of WordPress or whatever platform you're using. I also mean that you should update the content on your site, update the copy, update the pictures, update the logos, update everything so that it matches your new brand that you've attached to the new domain. All of this will help Google see you as a more credible source. Another thing that'll help your new domain name to not harshly affect your SEO is number 5, proper redirects. Now, what you want to use is called a 301 redirect. That means it's a permanent redirect. You don't want to use a temporary redirect. And I'm not going to get too much into the technicalities of how exactly to do a redirect, because there are a couple different ways. You can do it on the server, you can do it on your content management system, you can even do it in HTML to a certain extent. What you need to just know is that those redirects are important, and you want to redirect people to the right page. And eventually, that'll make the transition that Google has to make much more quick when it's trying to figure out what page that the people who are searching are looking for. So make sure to do redirects. And while I'm talking about redirects, we come up to our number 6 tip. Similar to redirects, it's also important to have a functional 404 page. Now what a 404 page is it's a page that shows to whoever's on your site if whatever page they're looking for does not exist, or if it is misplaced and you miss the redirects. So once you have your redirects in place, you want to make a 404 page to account for anything that the people who are coming to your site may have missed. Now, you have no control over external links to your site from other websites to a certain extent. So having a 404 will really just help the people who come to your website to have a positive experience. In my Maui Game Studio website, I actually have a game that you can play if you hit the 404. It's a kind of HTML version of Space Invaders that a lot of people have really enjoyed. So that's a really great option to have a game, or even just a GIF, because what it does is if Google sends them to your site and they get to the wrong page, it'll still keep them at your site for a long period of time, which will tell Google that your site is high quality. Where if they go to your site and they come back immediately, it'll be an indication to Google that your site is of low quality. The 7th thing I'm going to talk about is something you can do before you even start the migration. Go ahead and purchase the domains that you're thinking about using and build really simple splash pages on them. Don't spend a lot of time on it, but you can use those splash pages to age your domain. Now, aged domains are really the main reason why it's difficult for your SEO when you're changing your domain. So if you have an aged domain, it'll help the process move a lot more quickly. And you can actually pre-age those domains before you do the migration. And you can also have multiple pre-aged domains in case you're not sure what the final name of the business or the final name of the business's URL will be. The 8th thing on our list is I'm going to recommend that you reach out to websites that link back to you that you have no power over. So if you know people who have written a blog or a podcast or a video about your website or your business and they're linking back to your business, go ahead and shoot them an email or a message on Twitter or Instagram and tell them, hey, just so you know, you linked to my blog and this page, and I just wanted to give you the updated URL. They may or may not decide to update that page because it might be too old or might be whatever, but it's best if they do. And if you send them a message, they can at least make a choice as to whether or not they want to do that. But if you don't send them a message, there's just no possibility, or it's very unlikely that they're going to do that without any kind of prompting. So my suggestion would be just to go ahead and send them that and see what happens, you know. So go reach out to people who have linked to your website in their content. Okay, this ninth thing is just for people who use WordPress. And I hope that this isn't really a bummer, because this video is very useful for all people on all platforms, but this is more WordPress specific. Now what I'm going to say to do is make sure you install Yoast or an equivalent plugin into your WordPress website, and what that'll do is it'll help you with your sitemaps, and it'll also help you with your social media links. The sitemaps are something that help your listings categorize things. So in some instances, if you're on a Google search engine, it'll list subpages of a website within a given search engine item. So that will enable you to get more links, and it's more possible for the users to find exactly what they want more quickly versus having to get to your site, and maybe they might not come to the actual place they need, and they might leave, and it might make it so that they have a bad experience and go to another site. And Google has all kinds of ways of being able to tell whether or not their users have negative experiences. So you want to avoid that as much as possible. Now, the idea of having a sitemap and setting up your site to have the optimal social media and business listing links is not exclusive to Yoast. You can do this on any website, but the path to it is different. So while I am saying to use Yoast or an equivalent, the equivalent does include different methods for different websites. I'm not going to really include that in this video because this is probably already one of the longest videos I've already made. So we're going to go ahead and end it here. Before we go, we probably want to talk about how my website has been doing with its migration. Well, I have to say the information I have now is somewhat preliminary. It has been positive. I should be popping a graph onto the screen right now that you can look at and see how much traffic. I was getting about 300 unique users per month, and then I dropped down to like maybe 11 or so unique users per month when I first changed. And now I'm up to maybe about 200 for this month so far, and I still have a week and a half of this month left. So I think it's safe to say that I'll probably get back up to the 300 mark by the end of the month. So that means I'm pretty much at where I was before I switched now, and it's been about 3 months since I switched the domain name. I've done really good with that, but it also needs to be considered that I got a relatively small amount of traffic since my site is very niche, and I will continue probably to increase the amount of traffic I get over the next couple months or so, since I've been pushing more YouTube content, and I've really been trying to up my SEO, because just honestly business has been a bit slow. So I've just had a little bit of extra time to kind of get on top of all this stuff that I've neglected over the last couple months. Alright, well that being said, it looks like we're done here with this video. I really appreciate you watching. There's a lot of ways in which you can stay engaged with what I'm doing. I'm working on upping my Discord community, so the Discord link should appear in the profile section and in the description of this video. I have 3 members in my Discord community now. One of them is my friend, and one of them came through my last YouTube video. So maybe with this video, if I could get 4 or 5, that would be incredible. So maybe that's you. Maybe that could be you. My Discord is going to be a place where we talk about web development, WordPress, digital marketing, stuff like that. So it's really a great way to get a hold of me and get contact with me and correspond with me if you don't have the resources to pay for the one-on-one consultations. And speaking of the one-on-one consultations, if you do want to help me out, go ahead and hire me for those consultations. I can help you with your website. I can help you set up your digital marketing strategy. We can work on teaching you just about anything that I know, which is a lot. Themify themes, yada yada yada, the list goes on. So go ahead and book me there. I really appreciate any business I get there. It's gotten to the point where those sessions are really the majority of my income, and they would really keep me afloat. So for those of you who have been booking sessions with me, I just want you to know that I really appreciate it, and I look forward to our sessions coming up this week. In addition to that, I just want to say maybe check out some of my social media profiles. If you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. I think 95% of the people who watch these videos are not subscribed. So let's fix that. Also, my other channel, Maui Game Studio, is just about to pass this channel in viewers. So while I do want you to subscribe to that channel as well, go ahead and make sure you're subscribed to this one so that I don't leave this channel too much in the dust, because I love the web development stuff as much as I love the game development stuff, and I want to do both. Also, I have a Twitter now, so maybe follow that. I don't really know what I'm doing on there, but maybe you can tweet me and tell me how to do it right and help me out, because I am not a Twitter guy, even though I'm using it. My main profile has like 600 followers, but my Maui Interactive profile has like 4. So if you want to make me not seem so sad, you can go ahead and follow that profile. I really appreciate it, guys. Yeah, check out my socials. I don't really have much more to talk about. I'll try to keep making these videos regularly. If you have any questions about this video, please leave them in the comments. Comments help me boost my SEO for my video SEO, and also likes help. Even dislikes help. So if you really think this video is super dumb, make sure to drop me a dislike. And maybe just keep watching this video over and over again for the next 24 hours. That'll also help me show a little bit more. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble now, and I hope you don't mind it too much, but I'll see you later. This has been a crazy video. Okay, goodbye. Bye.